It's like the poopy brown of your dreams. Hey guys, welcome back. So I got a video for y'all today all about this palette right here from Juvia's Place. This is the Tribe by Juvia's. So bright and fun. So we're just going to chat about all things related to this palette, like pricing, packaging. We'll look at some swatches. I'll talk to you guys about the formula of these shadows and how they are to work with, and give you my overall thoughts and impressions on this palette. And then I will also show you a tutorial on how I did this look right here. So yeah, let's jump into it. Okay, so the retail price of this palette is $20. Here is the outside box for it. So it's super bright and fun, kind of like a chartreuse lime green sort of a color. Really beautiful design as always. So there is the outside box. Here is the actual palette. Nice sleek packaging. It's pretty gold on this side. I love the bright green. I think it's a lot of fun. And then on the inside, there is no mirror, but there's the beautiful graphic. So as far as what you're getting in this palette, this is such a fun collection of colors. It's a lot of green and then some oranges, and there are really some interesting colors in here. I feel like this is a really unique palette, and I love that they kind of match the packaging to what you actually got inside. It wasn't like it was a green package and then just a ton of random neutrals inside. It's actually got some great greens in here. Like this one is a really fun, well, we'll get to all the swatches in a second, but a really fun chartreusey yellowy green sort of color. This is a bright green. And then this one is just like the most amazing poopy brown you've ever seen. It's like the poopy brown of your dreams. It is amazing. I love this one. So cool as far as mattes and shimmers. 1, 2, 3, 4 shimmery metallic shades, and then all the rest are mattes. But overall, a green palette, but then some warm colors thrown in there too, some kind of like orangey shades. So you definitely have to like greens to like this palette, because I think those are kind of the standout shades in here. Now for some swatches, starting on the top left side of the palette, this is Masai, Oromo, Tutsi, Koro, Chaga, Kuba, Ashanti, Kura, K-U-R-L-A, Kurla, and then San. So fun. I really just want to like point out some of these shades. Like this one is a really cool duochrome sort of a shade with like a green shift to it, a green undertone, but it's still kind of like golden as well. It's really cool. This one is a coppery shade, but it's got just an orange shift to it that is beautiful and unique. Again, the most amazing poopy brown color ever. Perfect transition shade for greens. I mean, it's an amazing choice to put in there. It's a great shadow. So really some unique, fun shades. Now let's talk formula on these shadows and my overall thoughts and impressions on this palette. So formula of these shadows, I think is great. The matte formula is really, really nice because it is a silky sort of a formula, but also very pigmented. They're not overly soft, so I don't think you have to be super delicate with them. I think they're just really easy to work with matte shadows that are pigmented, build up easily, but also blend well, work well together, but still keep their differentiation of color. So just a really nice matte formula. The metallic-y shades are very nice too, but they are that thicker sort of a metallic formula. They adhere to the lid well, they build on themselves well, they're super metallic and reflective. I do notice with this thicker sort of a formula some creasing, especially with these greeny kind of colors across multiple brands. I just usually notice that. A little bit of creasing even if I use an eyeshadow primer, but I just kind of do this with my finger and it's no big deal. But it is that thicker sort of a formula, so I wanted to point that out to you. But with that, you get that super metallic, light catching sort of a sheen to it. Really, really beautiful. So I'm very impressed with the formula. I think it's really, really nice. So overall thoughts and impressions on this palette, I think it's so fun. And I think they did a great job of really thinking strategically about what to put in this palette. They really created a fun green palette, something different, and then they threw in some really neat kind of contrasting colors to just make it really different. Some of these shadows you just don't see, and really just this color scheme overall is just something different and unique and fun. So who would this palette be for? I think formula-wise, I think most everyone would like it. But Would you like this palette? I think it comes down to, do you like these kind of colors? And if you do, I think you'd really, really enjoy it. I think it's super fun. Am I gonna reach for it all the time? Not necessarily, because I don't wear green shadows a ton, but if I do wear green shadows, I would totally reach for this palette because it's great. So those are my overall thoughts on the palette. So now we're gonna get to the tutorial. Okay, so I already applied some eyeshadow primer and set that. So I'm gonna get some of Ashanti on a Cozette S175 brush. And I'm gonna tap off my brush and just build this up very lightly in my crease and transition area. So I'm using very light pressure. Okay, so I definitely want a green eye look. So I'm gonna start out with some of Tootsie on a Bdellium Tools 772 brush. Tap off my brush and I'm just going to pat and build this up on my lid. And then I'm gonna go over that color with some of Son with that same brush. I just kind of wiped it off on my pajama pants. And I'm just gonna apply that right over top. Going back in with that crease shade and just applying a little bit more, just doing some blending and softening. I switched to a smaller brush, a Cozette D220 brush. I'm just kind of building up all the different colors on top of themselves. So now I'm gonna get some of Cuba on just a flat concealer type brush. This is, I don't even know, a Royal & Langnickel Brush Essentials concealer brush. So just gonna get some of that on my brush and I'm applying this in the outer part of my lid, kind of outer half basically. That is such a pretty color. I want to bring out a little bit more of the sparkle, so I'm gonna spray my brush and then just apply a little bit more. Now I just flip that brush around and I'm gonna get some of this shade right here, which is Coral. Get some of that on that brush. And I'm gonna spray my brush, tap it off, and then spray it. Spray the actual brush and not just into the abyss. And apply some of this on the inner half of my lid. Now I'm taking a Morphe M507 brush, just getting a little bit more of this matte green, just the tiniest little bit, and I'm using this to just kind of soften this line. I mean, I'm barely touching. Just trying to bring a little bit more green into my crease, just very, very lightly. I'm kind of filling in this space so my eyes don't look so down. It kind of lifts them a little bit. Now I'm gonna apply some liner and mascara to my upper lash line and upper lashes. So I'm gonna keep the green look going with my liner. So this is the Merle Norman Soft Touch Eye Pencil in Peacock. And then I'm gonna use my IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. So I'm gonna apply these and I'll be right back. I also applied some concealer, powder, bronzer, blush, and highlighter. So now for my lower lash line, I'm gonna get some of Tootsie on a BH Cosmetics number 10 brush. Tap that off and then just run this along my lower lash line. And I'm just gonna get a little bit of Son, just the tiniest little bit, and kind of tap this in the outer corner just to kind of add a little bit of depth out there and kind of connect it with my liner, but very soft. I want my lower lash line not like super smoky. Okay, and then last step, I'm gonna get some of Coral and apply just a little bit of this on the inner part of my lower lash line, just kind of softly. And then I'm also going to dab a little bit on the inner corners of my eyes. I'm using a pencil brush for the inner corners and I'm like barely touching because I want just a little bit of a glow, but I don't want it to be like super intense. I mean, I'm literally barely touching. Alright guys, so that wraps up this video. So I hope that you really enjoyed it and I hope it was helpful for you. Please do a thumbs up if it was and let me know down below what you think about this palette. If you own it or if you've just looked at swatches, what are your thoughts and impressions on it? Ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!